Okay, so here's part two. Sometimes it's not just an I. So, right, we started off knowing that square root of -1 would give me just an I. Okay, so what happens when I have I squared? So that's basically the square root of -1 squared. So that would just give me a -1, right? Because the square and the square root would cancel each other out and leave me with just a -1. I cubed would be like I squared times another I. So that's -1 times an I. So that would give us negative I. And the last one would be I squared times I squared, which is -1 times -1, which gives me just 1. If you go on with this, so think about it, this would be I to the 4th times another I, so that would be 1 times I, so that's coming back to an I. And then the next one would be I to the 4th times I squared. So I to the 4th is 1. I squared is -1, so that's back to -1. The next one would be I to the 4th times I to the 3rd. So that would be 1 times -I, so that's a -I. And then the last one would be I to the 4th times I to the 4th, which is 1 times 1. Another thing, I always, when I was in school, I only had to learn these 4. And what we did was, if I had something like, well, I'll do the example with number 13. So like for number 13, instead of going through and figuring it out, I used to just do 15 divided by 4. So 4 goes into 15 3 times with, right, so 4 times 3 is 12. So there would be 3 left over. This number tells me which one to go to. So since it's a 3, I know it's going to just be a -I because it's the same as I to the 3rd. I don't know if you ever learned that trick, but that's how I would do it. So then same thing. So 62 divided by 4. You could use your calculator to do it. 4 goes into 62 15 times with 2 left over 4. So that 2 tells me I have to go squared. So my answer should be -1. So I hope that makes sense. If you have nothing left over, then you know it's to the 4th, right? Because 4 divided by 4. So just a heads up on how to do that. So let's practice simplifying the expressions below. So for the number 15, I'm just doing 4 times 7 is 28. I times I is I squared. Then I'm going back to my chart. I squared is -1. So it's 28 times -1, which is just -28. I'm going to multiply all my coefficients. So -4 times 2 times -9 is positive 72. I, that's I to the 3rd. I to the 3rd is a -I. So it's -72I. Let's do 17. Remember, cube everything. 2 cubed is 8. And then we're going to put I cubed times 5 times I. 8 times 5 is 40. I to the 3rd. I to the 1st is I to the 4th. Remember, I to the 4th, according to my chart, is just a 1, so your answer should just be 40. All right, let's keep going with this. Okay, so if I distribute my little 2 to the I in the square root, I would get I squared times 3. Then same thing here. I would do 64 I squared. Remember with that negative 8, it would be negative 8 times negative 8, so that's how I got the positive 64. Now I'm going to do 3 times 64, because I could do that, so that's 192. I squared times I squared is I to the 4th. And then I to the 4th is 1, so my answer is just 192. Number 19. Notice they're not giving us i's. We have to take them out first. I goes here. And then square root of 18 times I square root of 10. We can multiply the square roots and then the i's separately. So it's I squared times square root of 180. We could split the square root of 180 into 36 and 5. I know the square root of 36 is 6. I don't know the square root of 5. I squared is a negative 1. So this, and this is what it composes of. So it would be negative 6 square root of 5. We're going to do one more. I'm going to take all the negatives out, so that would be 3 i's. So that would be I cubed, square root of 24 times square root of 3 times square root of 2. If you multiply those all together, it would be I cubed times the square root of 144, which that's just a 12. I cubed is a negative I, so it would be negative 12i. So hopefully this helps, but we do need to know our I rules, and the first 4 are really all that I would memorize.